Shri Guru Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Bolo. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. All together. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadine Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Paschachadi Shatavani Vansha Kalpacharubhyascha Bolo. Vansha Kalpacharubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ashraya Koriya Vandam Shri Guru Charana Ashraya Koriya Vandam Shri Guru Charana Ashraya Koriya Vandam Shri Guru Charana Shri Guru Charana Jaha hoite mile bai Krishna Prema Dana mile bai Krishna Prema Dana Jaha hoite mile bai Krishna Prema Dana Krishna Prema Dana Jidera Nistara Lagi Nanda Sutta Hari Nanda Sutta Hari Bhuvane Prakashana Guru Rupadari Bhuvane Prakashana Guru Rupadari Mahimaya Guru Krishna Eka Kori Jana Eka Kori Jana Guru Agya Hriday Sabha Sacha Kori Mana Sacha Gyani Guru Vakye Jahara Vishvasa Jahara Vishvasa Avashya Taharaya Braja Bhumi Vasa Avashya Taharaya Braja Bhumi Vasa Jadaprati Guru Deva Anaparasana Guru Deva Anaparasana Kona Vigne Seho Nahi Hoya Vasana Krishna Rushta Hoile Guru Raki Bare Pare Krishna Rushta Hoile Guru Raki Bare Pare Guru Rushta Hoile Krishna Raki Bare Nare Guru Guru Mata Guru Pita Guru Hanapati Guru Hanapati Guru Vina E Sansare Nahi Aragati Nahi Aragati Guru Ke Manushya Gyana Nakoro Kakana Nakoro Kakana Guru Ninda Kabukane Nakoro Shravana Nakoro Shravana Guru Nindu Keramuka Kabunaheribe Kabunaheribe Jatohoya Guru Ninda Tatana Jahibe Ninda Tatana Jahibe Guru Vikriya Jari Dekaha Kakana Vikriya Jari dekha kakana tatapi avagyan nahi koro kadachana tatapi avagyan nahi koro kadachana Guru pada padmi rahe jaranishta bhakti jaranishta bhakti jagata tarite se dare mahashakti Hena Guru Parapadma Koroho Vandana Parapadma Koroho Vandana Shire Dare Vande Ame Tanhara Charana Shire Dare Vande Shri Guru Charana Padma Hride Kori Asha Guru Charana Padma Hride Kori Asha Gora Shri Guru Charana Padma Hride Kori Asha Gora Na Padma Hride Kori Asha Shri Guru Vandana Kori Bolo Shri Guru Vandana Kori Shri Guru Vandana Kore Shri Guru Vandana Shri Guru Vandana Kore Shri Guru Vandana Kore Sanatana Dasa Sanatana Dasa Sanatana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, oh Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Everyone all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Shri Guru Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parivajaka Varya. Stoted is Sata Shri Shrimad, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ke, Jai Om Vishnavad Paramahamsa Parivajaka Varya. Stoted is Sata Shri Shrimad, His Divine Grace, Singha Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki, Vani Vaishnava Brinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Sikoho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath, Radhakund, Shamakund, Giri Govardhana Ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ke, Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki, Shri Purushottam Ketra, Vipralamba Ketra, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki, Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ke, Gaur Premanande, Samaveda Bhakta Binda Ke. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gora Graganya Gana Gota Goloruharam Gauranga Gura Tamagopyara Kalpa Briksham Gopala Gada Rati Dam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namami Uttama Adama Kichuna Bachila Jachiya Dileka Kola Kahe Premananda Hemona Gauranga Hridoya Dariya Bola. Listen, Bhaja Gauranga Kaha Gauranga Laha Gaurangera Namare Bolo. Bhaja Gauranga Kaha Gauranga Laha Gaurangera Namare Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaje Se Hoy Amara Prana Re Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaje Se Hoy Amara Prana Re Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yasyaiva padambuja bhakti labhya prema bidana parama pumarta tasmai jagan mangala mangalaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Madgavirapi Gopala Sri Kuryat Kripaya Jodi Tadaiva Sampaya Pitva Rishayustat Priya Janaha Shri Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Sasanatana Rupaka Gopala Raghunathapta Brajabala Bapahimam Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'm reminded of a nice verse by Srila Rupa Goswami from the invocation to his Lalita Madhav, which nicely describes our situation today. Keyam sabhagunavati bhatta mugdha rupa Kvaham jitosmi guruna guru goravena Adyama madhya saranam gatanam Dattotsavasya karuna arnavasya Kvayam Sabha. He said, what is this Sabha? What is this audience that we have today? They're all gunavati, they're all very virtuous persons. And he says, who am I? But the Mugdha Rupa, just a bewildered Rupa. Rupa Goswami is saying this. But we're not thinking Rupa Goswami is bewildered. Unfortunately, in Sanskrit, Rupa also has another meaning. Rupa means form, but Rupa also can sometimes refer to something which is some outward appearance, or a dream, a phantom-like shape. So what is this? I'm just some outward form. Kvaham jitosmi guruna guru goravena. He said that I'm defeated by all my Guru Janas being here, with so many wonderful persons, with so many great qualities. Adyama madhya saranam gatanam tatotsavasya karunarna vasya. And the only hope that I see in such a situation like this is that I should take shelter, saranam gatanam. Saranam gatanam. Let me take shelter of those persons who have taken shelter. The totsavasya karunarna vasya. Of that personality who is a ocean of mercy and a festival of divine bliss. So I beg apology from Srila Bhakti Marg Maharaj. Speak something in front of him today. Actually, what we're here for today is to try to render some service for him. And if I can do that in the proper attitude, then that's a good thing. We'd like to please Maharaj and the senior devotees. Not that we're anything special ourselves, but as we mentioned the last few days, sometimes Srila Prabhupada would have his disciples speak in front of him, not because they were so qualified necessarily, but because Srila Prabhupada wanted to hear what they had to say. Or we give another example of Shukadeva Goswami speaking in front of his father, Vyasadeva, and his father's guru, Narad Muni. We can do so because Krishna Katha in a Vaishnava Sangha is not like a recitation of the Vedas in Vedic culture. It's not exactly the same. It's certainly not the same as we were mentioning, like a sermon in the church, nor a lecture in the university, nor a commercial on television. But in a Vaishnava Sangha, what's put forward is Krishna in the form of Krishna Katha. And I think that's good. And anyone can take part in that with the blessings of the senior devotees. Just like you may have someone who's an Odissi dance guru, very, very expert in teaching Odissi dance. And he's taught hundreds of disciples. And that Odissi dance guru, he has a little baby who's about 4 or 5 months old. And the baby can't walk yet. But already the baby is trying to imitate the father in dance. And the baby's falling over. He has some very awkward movements. Really, the baby's dance. Can you hear me in the back there okay? All right.
I'm thinking about the YouTube recording because the previous recording the other night, the volume was quite low.
It's not coming through this. It's coming through a separate mic for that. That's another thing. I don't know. I'm not so expert with it. Maybe you can help us afterwards or something. I don't know. We have some fancy system. So in one sense, the activities of that little child who can't even walk yet, but he's trying to dance, it has no meaning. But if it brings a smile to the face of his father, then it has some utility. So if our humble efforts to dance bring a smile to the face of Bhakti Marg Maharaj, then we'll also be happy. So we've been reading and discussing something in the last few days as a service from Naranjan Maharaj, from a section of the Bhagavatam that discusses about the qualities and symptoms of a disciple. This is the 3rd chapter of the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. It's a Navayogendra speaking to Maharaj Nimi, and it's kind of a conversation inside of a conversation because it was spoken by Narad Muni to Vasudeva in Dwarka. And Maharaj Nimi had 4 different questions, one of which was, how can I become free for material existence. And so, as part of the answer to that question, they're giving him this answer about what is a disciple. And so we've been speaking from text 21 and trying to go all the way to text 31. So, because it's a long ways and I've been getting stuck on one verse a night, the first night we did 2, I'm going to try to read 5 or 6 verses tonight and just give a general explanation, general comments on them. But I also feel obliged to say something about this wonderful and very profound song that we were just singing. With this song alone, someone could speak on this for many weeks. It's full of very, very deep purport and imports. I like this song very much. It's Sri Guru Vandana by the poet Sanatan Das, not the same as Sanatan Goswami. To our knowledge, Srila Sanatan Goswami never wrote any Bengali songs or Bengali literature. This is a later poet, but his song is included in books like Gaura Padatarangini and Padakalpa Turu, 2 very famous Gaudiya Vaishnava Bengali songbooks, and is also included in many, many different Gaudiya Mat songbooks and different Bengali songbooks. I like the song very much because it speaks about the importance of Guru and the position of Guru from the vision of a disciple, and it speaks about the duties and behavior something of a disciple also. So we'll just go over this very quickly and then we'll come to the Bhagavatam verses. He says that Ashraya Kuriya Vandon Shri Guru Charan. In the translation here we have that taking refuge of Shri Guru, I bowed at his lotus feet. Shri Guru Charan. Ashraya means shelter. Another meaning in this verse though, it has 2 meanings. Ashraya Kuriya Vandon, I'm taking shelter of the Vandana, the prayers of Shri Guru. Shri Guru is such a powerful person. Not only will I take shelter of his lotus feet, but I'll take shelter of the prayers glorifying him, which help me to understand what is proper behavior. Jaha hoite mili bai Krishna prema dana. And he says, my dear brother, if you do like this, then you'll get this Krishna prema dana, this wealth, this treasure of Krishna prema. So who is Gurudev? Jivera Nistara Lagi Nanda Sutta Hari. We should understand, as we were reading from the 15th chapter of the 7th canto, I think it was yesterday, where Narad Muni explains that we should see that Gurudev is a manifestation of Krishna. And in his Sarartha Darshani commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that don't even think that Gurudev is an expansion of Krishna. You should see him directly as Krishna. And what does this mean? It doesn't mean that Gurudev is Krishna, like the Jai Guru Sampradaya in India. They have a very simple, they just sing Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. That's their program. And they consider that Gurudev is actually Bhagavan. That's not exactly our understanding. We say that Sakshad Dhuritvain, that he's endowed with all the potency because he's a representative. Prabhupada compared him to a postman. The postman represents the government. If you shoot a postman, if you steal mail from a postman, then you're doing a federal offense. You're doing an offense against the government because he's representing the government. And so Sri Guru is not just representing the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Bhagavan in one of his innumerable expansions, but he's directly representing Krishna. Jivera Nistara Lagi. For the purpose, Jivera Nistar, to deliver the living entities. Lagi, he's come, Nanda Sutta Hari, the son of Nanda Maharaj, has come in the form of Gurudev. Bhuvane Prakashahana Guru Rupadari. He's come in the form of Gurudev. Mahimoya Guru Krishna Eka Korijan. That you should know that in Mahima, in glory, Gurudev and Krishna are non-different. As we say, it doesn't mean they're the same exactly. We're not impersonalists. But it means that they're equal in glory. And that Gurudev is a manifestation of Krishna for us. Mahimaya, Guru Krishna Eka Korijan. They're one person. Guru Agya Hriday Sabha Satya Koriman. So then, what is the special quality of Guru? What do we need Guru for? If he's a manifestation of Krishna, Krishna can just come himself. He comes in the form of the holy name. He comes in the form of the deity, the Bhagavatam. What do we need Guru for? In the next line, Sanatan Das describes that Guru Agya, the order, the Agya of Gurudev. Guru Agya Hriday Sabha Satya Korimana. That we should take that order of Gurudev and we keep that in our heart and we consider it to be Satya, divine reality. Something coming directly from Krishna. Guru is a kind of mystical principle. As we've been describing the last few nights, Guru may be many things for many different people. Just as we see Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was the affectionate older brother of his sister. He was the young son of his parents. He was a good friend to certain people. To some disciples, Srila Prabhupada was the founder acharya of our society. A very great person, and they would become afraid just to see him. To other disciples, they had a more of an intimate, friendly kind of relationship. And so many different people would see him in different ways. Just as when Krishna entered the wrestling arena of Kamsa, so many people saw him in different ways. The wrestlers saw him as death personified. Vasudeva and Devaki, who were there, saw him as their dear son. The cowherd boys saw him as their drug, their good friend. The yogis who were there, they saw him, no, it's the super soul in the heart of all living entities. And the young ladies of Mathura, they became very shy and they covered their faces, thinking, this is Cupid personified. Which one of them is right? They're all correct, according to their particular perspective. And therefore, Vrindavan Das Thakur says that, remember? Verse is not coming to my mind. That Jai Rupa Chinche Dasi Sei Rupa Hoy. Thank you. That according to the conception a devotee has, the Lord manifests in a corresponding way. And to a lesser extent, we also see that even with each other. And what to speak of Sri Guru. If someone is very afraid of you, someone is in great awe and reverence of you, you'll manifest a certain kind of side to them. Where someone else who's very intimate with you will see you and understand you in a different way, it'll bring out a different side of you. And you can't say that one is right and another is wrong. But Gurudev in particular has come to give some instruction from Krishna. He's a manifestation of Krishna. He's something mystical. As I said, Guru is not just an ecclesiastical affair, although for some people he is. For some people it's an institutional consideration. That's okay. Why not? That's one aspect of him. But Gurudev is also our dearmost friend. Not everyone will see him like that. But for some people he is. Different people will see him in different ways. But Shastra says that we should see Gurudev as a manifestation of Krishna, who's in a mystical way, Krishna's come before me. I was crying in my heart as we were reading these wonderful instructions from the harmonist, from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, where he said that Krishna is in the heart, seeing the sincerity and devotion of the devotee manifest before him in the form of Guru, according to the quality of our sincerity and our devotion. That's something mystical. And when we cry in the heart, oh Krishna, I don't know who your bona fide representative is. Please help me, help me, help me. You send me someone. And then Krishna sends someone. Wow. It's a very mystical experience. And it gives great faith to the heart. Wow, this process really works. This chanting Hare Krishna really works. And we see that personality who I have faith in. He's Krishna's representative. And he's come to give me instructions. The instructions coming directly from Krishna. Satya Jnana Guru Vakya Jahara Vishvas. If we have this Vishvas, this strong faith, that Satya Jnana Guru Vakya, that whatever Gurudev says is absolute truth, then Avashya Tahara Hoya Brajabhumi Bas. Such a devotee will always be a resident of Vrindavan. He's living in Vrindavan. Doesn't matter. He's not living in Ottawa or Toronto or New York. He's living directly in Vrindavan. If we have faith in the orders of Gurudev. Jara prati Gurudeva hana parasan kono vigni seho nahi hoya avasan. For that devotee who's always thinking, how can I please Gurudev? This is a higher standard. This is not just the standard of religion when someone gets a blessing or baptism from a priest or gets upanayanam and a family from the Hotri. But when someone wants to know, how can I please Gurudev? Once the Radha Damodar party was in Atlanta when Srila Prabhupada came. And Narantara Prabhu, that was his name. Narantara Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple, lives in Los Angeles. He was one of the brahmacharis in that party. And they were a party of the most fired up book distributors on the planet. And Srila Prabhupada was there. And Prabhupada asked for questions. And Narantara Prabhu stood up and he asked the $64,000 question. He said, Prabhupada, how can we please you in the best way? And they were all waiting for Prabhupada to say, distribute my books. And then the ceiling was going to get blown off by the cheers and shouts of the brahmacharis. And Prabhupada, in a very humble, simple way, he said, simply love Krishna. So that's a beautiful question. How can we please you? And this is what we want to know. This is our relationship with Gurudev. This is, in that sense, the beginning of our spiritual life. It begins when we give up selfishness. And this is a difference, as we were mentioning before, between religion and genuine Krishna consciousness. In religion, people do some ceremonies and rituals. And there's so many different types. We have ceremonies and rituals in Islam, in Judaism, and Christianity, in Hinduism, and also in Vaishnavism. And the difference between religion and genuine spiritual life is when we're doing those, what attitude do we have with them? Am I doing it because I'm going to get some benefit, and this is what I'm into? Or am I doing it because this will bring pleasure to Srila Prabhupada, this will bring pleasure to my Gurudev? So such a devotee who's always thinking, how can I please Gurudev? Kona vigne seho nahi hoya avasan. He'll never have any problems. There'll be no problem if we're always thinking how to please Gurudev. Krishna rushta hoyle guru raki bari pari. Now, what happens if you make Krishna angry? It might happen. Maybe we might stick a pin in the head of the deity. Something very bad. Sometimes we've done like that. Or you might stick a pin in the head of Srimati Radharani, Hare Krishna. Krishna might become very angry. The poet Sanatana Das says, don't worry about it. He says, Guru Raki Bari Pari. Gurudev can protect you. If Krishna becomes angry with you, Gurudev can say, hey, it's okay. He's with me. I know he's an idiot, but just be merciful on him. But, he says, Guru Rushta. If you make Gurudev angry, Guru Rushta Hoili Krishna Raki Bari Nari. Even Krishna can't protect you if you make Gurudev angry. Such a personality is Sri Guru. Who was Gurudev? Guru Mata, Guru Pita, Guru Hanapati. Guru Bina E Sangsara Nahi Aragati. Gurudev is my mother. Gurudev is my father. Gurudev is my master. How was Gurudev my mother? Because I'm Dvija. I'm Dui Janma. He gave me initiation. He gave me birth by giving me mantra and giving me so he's my mother. And Guru Pita, he's my father, because the father is that person who nourishes us, who protects us, who feeds us, who brings food to the family. And Gurudev, he feeds me in the form of Krishna Katha. Guru Hanapati, he's my master. I'm his slave, his servant. Guru Bina E Sangsara Nahi Aragati. Without Gurudev, there's no other way to become free from this material existence. Guru Ke Manushya Gyan Na Koro Kokan. Guru Ninda Kabukani Na Koro Shravan. Guru Ke Manushya Gyan. Don't ever think that Gurudev is an ordinary person. And we read this purport 2 days ago, I think, from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where he's speaking about this verse in the 7th canto, chapter 15. He says that if you think your guru is an ordinary person, even if by some good fortune you have Krishna as your guru, directly, or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but if somehow you have the wicked mentality that you think they're an ordinary person, then whatever devotional activities you've done, whatever chanting you've done, whatever study of Shastra you've done, whatever services, he says all of that is in vain. And as we explain, that may sound confusing because we hear sometimes we get so much benefit from these different activities. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says you may get some bhakti unmukhi sukriti, some pious benefit which leads to bhakti. But it's a difference between that and bhakti. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary on Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says that what's the difference between someone who's chanting Hare Krishna with initiation and someone who's chanting Hare Krishna without initiation? Without initiation, he calls it Indriya Vyapara. The senses engaged in the sense objects. And he said it's not actually bhakti. Because bhakti stu bhagavad bhakta sangena parijayate. The Brihanaradiya Purana states in a verse which is quoted by Jiva Goswami, Sundarbhas, Sanatana Goswami, and Hari Bhakti Vilas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in many places, very famous verse, that bhakti stu bhagavad bhakta sangena parijayate. That bhakti comes from the bhakta. As Srila Prabhupada said, life comes from life. Bhakti comes from the bhakta. So, there's a difference between chanting Hare Krishna as a service to Gurudev after we're initiated and chanting Hare Krishna without initiation. That's actually a very long, big subject matter. I won't go further in that direction. He said we should never consider Gurudev an ordinary person, and Guru Ninda Kabu Karni Na Koro Shravan. Don't ever hear anyone criticize your Gurudev. It's like said to be like stepping on the shadow of Srimati Radharani. To hear some offense of your Gurudev, to criticize someone's Guru. You may not agree with them. You may not agree with your best friend's choice and who he got married to. But once he's married, better you just keep it to yourself. If you try to start criticizing his wife, you may find your friendship is finished. He doesn't want to hear that. I am not going to hear any criticism of my wife. A woman won't hear any criticism of her husband. Once someone has accepted Guru. But someone may say, this question was asked to my Guru Maharaj, what if their Guru is having some problems? He's not situated in the proper situation. My Guru Maharaj's response was that it depends on your relationship with that devotee. If that devotee is very intimate with you, and they have strong faith in you, then you can say something to him. You know, that person you call Guru, he's done some very bad things, this and that. He says that he's Bhagavan, he produces some ashes or something, but he's not Bhagavan. And there's so many scandals about him. You can say that if that person has some faith in you, if you have some intimate relationship. Otherwise, we should act in such a way that they'll develop faith in us. Guru Nindu Kera Mukha Kabuna Haribi. Don't even see the face of someone who criticizes Gurudev. And Jahahoya Guru Ninda Tata Na Jaibi. Don't go to that place where someone criticizes Gurudev. Guru Ra Vikriya Jari Dekaha Kakan. Don't see any bad thing in Gurudev. This is a very controversial subject. What if you see Gurudev coming out of a liquor store with a bag in his hand? Oh my God. Some people will take a photograph and they'll go to the internet. Upload that, just see Maharaj was doing this thing. But before you do that, maybe you should go and speak with him. Guru Maharaj, why are you coming out of there? Oh, this owner of this liquor store, he wanted to purchase a book. And so I took some books to him. And he purchased the books. We should inquire. Don't see anything bad. Why is this said? Because if we see something bad in Gurudev, we'll lose faith in him. And as we mentioned in the story the other day, which is from the Upanishads, said to be from the Upanishads. I've heard from several sources, where this guru gave this prostitute the mantra, dinky dinky, which means a kind of mortar and pestle. But with great faith, she was chanting, dinky dinky dinky, because she thought it was the name of Krishna. She had great faith in Guru. And that faith in Guru, in the principle of Guru, granted her success. There's a difference between that kind of success, and someone introducing us to the intimate service of Radha and Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan. But faith in Guru is such an important thing. Guru pada padme rahe jara nishta bhakti jagat tarite se dhari mahashakti. Whoever has unflinching devotion to Sri Guru, to their lotus feet, that person has the power to deliver the whole world. Such a powerful devotee. Hena Guru pada padma koroho vandana jaha hoite gucci bhai sakala yantrana. My dear brother, whoever bows down to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, all of their problems, anxieties, they all go away. He says, therefore, Guru pada padme nitya jay kori vandana siddhi dhari vandi ami tanhara charana. He says that I hold on my head the lotus feet of my Gurudev, the lotus feet of whoever is doing vandana to their Gurudev. I give so much respect to him because it's such a very sacred principle. We were yesterday speaking about this article from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, a very technical article, called Philanthropism, which nobody even knew the meaning for the word. Philanthropism means when you assign, you take something divine and you assign some mundane attitude toward it. You think Gurudev is a mundane person. You think you can approach Shastra just with mundane intelligence, just by reading the book, not by rendering service to Guru. We think we can approach Krishna on our own without Guru. So important are those devotees of the Lord. He says that I take on my head, I bow down to the feet of that person. And how often do I do it? He says that Guru pada padme nitya, I'm always bowing down like this to those persons who are worshipping the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev. Sri Guru Charana Padma, Hriday Kori Ash, Sri Guru Charana Kori Sanatana Das. So desiring the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev within the core of my heart, the author Sanatan Das, he makes this Guru Vandana, he sings this song. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 3, Text 24. So I'm going to read to Text 29, just the Sanskrit and the translations, and then we'll come back and make some comments about them, or maybe some comments on the way, we'll see. Text 24. Socham tapas titiksham cha monam swadhyayam arjavam brahmacharjam ahimsam cha samatvam dvanda sanghayo. To serve the spiritual master, the disciple should learn cleanliness, austerity, tolerance, silence, study of Vedic knowledge, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence, and equanimity in the face of material dualities such as heat and cold, happiness and distress. Text 25. Sarvatratmesvaran viksham kaivalyam aniketatam vivikta chiravasanam santosham yena kenachit. One should practice meditation by constantly seeing oneself to be an eternal, cognizant spirit soul, and seeing the Lord to be the absolute controller of everything. To increase one's meditation, one should live in a secluded place and give up false attachment to one's home and household paraphernalia. Giving up the decorations of the temporary material body, one should dress himself with scraps of cloth found in rejected places, or with the bark of trees. And this way one should learn to be satisfied in any material situation. What is the point in this verse? It doesn't mean that everyone should go out and find some old rotten cloth in a garbage can and use that. Srila Prabhupada wasn't very appreciative when devotees would dress in old rotten cloth. But this verse is saying like that. The point of this verse is that we shouldn't be attached to the amenities and things of this world. We should be simple. And for devotees, Srila Prabhupada liked them to dress in a nice way, as a reflection of our service to Srila Prabhupada. Not that we should go around and looking like very poor people. It's not a good reflection on Srila Prabhupada. In this regard, I'd like to speak about something just for a brief moment, something very controversial. Because that's the way you make friends with people, right? You speak a little something controversial, a little confidential. Sometimes devotees, they say, how should you dress? And some people, they say that, the secret to Krishna consciousness, to spreading Krishna consciousness, is that all the ladies should shut up and stand in the back and cover their face and wear a burqa, or a sari with a shawl. And if we do that, then everybody will become Krishna conscious in the world. That's a little exaggeration, but some people have some idea. Other people say, if we all just wear Western clothes, then when people see they're wearing Western clothes, they say, wow, look, they're wearing Western clothes. I'd like to be a Hare Krishna devotee because they're wearing Western clothes. Well, all of a sudden make all kinds of devotees. I don't know. It's a little simplistic, but both sides seem a little... So what is the proper dress? Going through Shastra, I've not really found any discussion about it. But there's one place in the 14th chapter of the 10th canto where Lord Brahma, in his prayers to Krishna, he glorifies Putana. He glorifies Krishna for his mercy on Putana. And he says there that Putana, she got so much mercy, even though she was a demoness. Why did she get mercy? Lord Brahma says, because she was disguised. She was dressed up like a devotee. And because she was dressed up like a devotee, she got the position of being a datri, a nurse in the spiritual world. Something like being a mother. And then, in the commentary, in the Bhavarta Deepika commentary of Sridhar Swami, in the Laghu Vaishnava Toshani of Jiva Goswami, the Brihad Vaishnava Toshani of Sanatana Goswami, in the Sartha Darshani commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, all of them say the same thing. That Bakasura, why did he get mercy? He also got liberation. He got liberation because his sister dressed up like a devotee. Putana is the sister of Bakasura. But then the question comes, why did Bakasura get Kaivalya Mukti, impersonal liberation, and Putana got the position of being like a nurse? And the answer is because Putana dressed like a devotee, but Bakasura didn't. So powerful is dressing like a devotee. Now comes the $64,000 question. What was that devotional dress? It doesn't say. But I would suggest that we could conclude that devotional dress means something that I'm wearing out of devotion. Something that I'm wearing for the pleasure of Guru. Something that I'm wearing for the pleasure of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada had certain type of dress that he liked. And that's a devotional dress. Otherwise, how someone wants to dress, personally, it doesn't bother me so much. But I like to dress in a devotional way. I think of Putana. She got so much mercy just by dressing like a devotee. And that's the purport of this verse, that we should dress ourselves not for our personal satisfaction, but we want to dress ourselves for the pleasure of Gurudev. And Gurudev likes it when we dress in a way that doesn't call a lot of attention to our body. That I'm a big, powerful man, I'm a sexy, beautiful woman. But we should look like saintly persons. And that gives Gurudev some pleasure I'm dressing in a way for His pleasure. So we'll go to text 26. Shraddham Bhagavate Shastre Nindam Anyatra Chapihi Manovat Karma Dandam Cha Satyam Samadhamavapi. One should have firm faith that he will achieve all success in life by following those scriptures that describe the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. It said, Acharya Purusho Veda, that if you want to understand Vedic literature, we have to approach Guru. And Srila Prabhupada, we were reading from that lecture Prabhupada gave in Bombay yesterday, and Prabhupada was saying a very strong thing. Prabhupada was saying that some people, I can pretty much quote it exactly, Prabhupada said, some people say, what is the use of accepting a guru? Of course they have a very bad experience, Prabhupada said. Prabhupada was predicting the future, I think. And then Prabhupada went on to say, some people say that what's the use of accepting Guru? I'll just read the book. But Prabhupada said they won't understand. He said even if they read Bhagavad Gita 100 times, they won't understand a single word. Even if they read 1,000 times, he said. Unless they approach a person, unless they take shelter of a person. In this regard, there's a wonderful story in South India that Quresh, one Vaishnav, who was a very, very learned Vaishnav, he was a disciple of Srila Ramanuja Acharya. And once Quresh approached his spiritual master and he asked Ramanujacharya, please, Guru Maharaj, please explain to me the meaning, the purport of the Charama Shlok, the most important verse in Bhagavad Gita, which is what? Sarva dharman parityagya mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha yishyami masucha. Please explain to me the meaning of this verse. What it means, sarva dharman, to give up all my dharma and surrender completely to Krishna. And Ramanuja told him, if you want to understand this verse, you have to surrender everything and render very intimate service to your Guru for 1 full year. And after that, maybe we'll explain it to you. Quresh, he said, Guru Maharaj, life's very short. I don't know, I may not be alive tomorrow. Please, isn't there some shortcut? You can explain it to me in a shorter way? And then Ramanuja said, well, okay, if you go for 1 month begging door to door, not knowing where you're going to get your next meal from, but just depending on the Lord. If you completely depend on the Lord in that way for 1 month, then you come to me and I'll consider you qualified to understand the meaning of this verse. And Quresh did that. And then he came to Ramanuja, and Ramanuja then explained the verse to him. We have a hard time relating to stories like this. We say, what's the necessity of all that? That sounds very quaint, some old-fashioned story. But today there's another Swami that I go to. I don't remember his last name, but he's called Google Swami. And I just type in his name, www.google.com, and he answers any questions that I have. I don't have to render any service to him, anything. We should understand the difference between information collection, Gyan, and Vigyan, realized knowledge. And Ramanuja, in his Gita Bhashya commentary, he describes that there are 3 things required for Shravan Adhikar, or to have qualification to hear. And those 3 things are Pranipat, Pariprashna, and Seva. We have to submit ourselves to the person. Krishna says in the Adi Purana to Arjuna, Ye me bhakta jana partha, na me bhaktas tate jana, mad bhaktanam chaye bhaktas te me bhakta tamomata. Those persons who say they're my devotee, Krishna says, I have no idea who they are. They're not my devotee. But the devotee of my devotee, that's my real devotee. So we have to submit ourselves. We have to practice pariprashna. We have to inquire submissively, not in a challenging way, trying to defeat someone in a proud kind of way. But we approach, if we have some doubt, some question in our mind, we reveal our mind to Gurudev. We inquire submissively. And by doing that, we get some qualification to hear. And the third one is we render service. And we render service both to the message as well as the speaker. And by how do we serve the message? We serve the message by trying to live it, what we've heard from that person. Not just in a theoretical way, I take notes on something, I try to memorize something, I collect some information, and then I use it, I spout it out to gather some prestige or something like that. This is not the nature of Krishna Katha. This is not the purpose of Shastra. So, they're describing here, one should have firm faith that he will achieve all success in life by following those scriptures that describe the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. At the same time, one should avoid blaspheming other scriptures. One should rigidly control his mind, speech, and bodily activities, always speak the truth, and bring the mind and senses under full control. If one wants to be a bona fide disciple, this is the way one should behave. One should have firm faith in Shastra. Not just that, oh, my Gurudev said it. Just like I remember seeing a bumper sticker once. It said, Jesus said it, I believe it, and that settles it. That's more the attitude of the Taliban. So that's not the attitude of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. If Gurudev said something to me, for me that's absolute. But at the same time, why did he say it? And who did he say it to? I'll give you an example. Srila Prabhupada at the Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavan, one day he gave sannyas to several young men. And then he had them come to see him afterwards. And the first one, Srila Prabhupada gave him some personal instructions. And he told him, you're a sannyasi. A sannyasi should never stay in one place. You should travel all over the world and preach. Now go. And he left the room. The next sannyasi disciple, new initiate, came in, and Prabhupada told him, so I want you to stay here in Vrindavan and don't go anywhere. And you be in charge of the Gurukula. It seems like two opposite instructions. And if you took one of them and tried to champion it, it's known as Arda Kukyuti Nyaya, or the logic of half a hen. Where Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiva Dharma, he says there's two types of statements from Sadhu Guru. And those are Tatkalika and Sarvakalika. It's very good. Tatkalika means something which is for time, place, and circumstance. You should travel and you should not go anywhere. You stay right here. But Sarvakalika means statements which are for all time and all circumstances. Chant Hare Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Offer your food to Krishna. Give everything to Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Those are Sarvakalika. But Tatkalika is time, place, and circumstance instructions. So we have to understand and not be a fanatic. If it's not enough just to be a follower of Gurudev and to say Gurudev said, especially if we're speaking with other people who are not followers of our Gurudev, then we should quote Shastra. That's our principle. My Guru Maharaj told us this. It's don't just quote your Gurudev. You quote Shastra. Shastra says this, not just my Gurudev says this. So, but at the same time, one should avoid blaspheming other Shastras. We shouldn't be fanatical. We have our Shastra, but we understand there's other people studying other things, other Shastras. Even Srila Prabhupada, in one purport, he speaks about the Bible and the Quran as being Shastra. He calls them Upadharma Shastras. Because they help people to be religious. And at certain times, Prabhupada told devotees, don't break the faith of the Christians. Because they'll just become atheists. It's good. We like to see them worshiping God. We're happy in that way. In this regard, Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter, one of my favorite things to cite, in 1968 to the Governor General of Canada, Ronald Michener. Yeah?
Roland Michener.
Roland Michener, thank you. A very interesting letter. And Prabhupada was describing what ISKCON is in the letter. And in the letter, Prabhupada started, he said that ISKCON is a non-lucrative organization. It's exactly the words he uses. It's a non-lucrative organization. It's non-sectarian. And he said, in our movement, we have members who come from Christian, Hindu, Muslim backgrounds, and he said they can be a member of ISKCON and still keep their respective religion. Still be a Muslim, still be a Christian, still be a Hindu, a Shaivite or a Shakta, or whatever their persuasion is, and still be a member of ISKCON. That's okay with us. And in that regard, there's many examples we sometimes give. I'll just cite a couple that I find them very inspiring. In Kiev, Kiev's in Ukraine, they have the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, which doesn't get along with the Russian Orthodox Church. And they kind of have a monopoly on everything. And they're not really very happy with other religions. In particular, they've not been very friendly toward the Hare Krishna movement over the years. And there's even been some very rough dealings sometimes. So once the devotees were in downtown Kiev, and they were doing Harinam, and there was a Russian Orthodox priest who was standing and watching for a long time, looking curious and a little puzzled. And finally, one of the devotees went over to him and said, "Would you like a book? This is Bhagavad Gita." And the priest took it. And he left. A few days later, he came to the temple. He said, "I've been reading this book. It's a really nice book. I have some questions." And he started coming to the temple with questions. And then he started coming to the temple for the artiks and the kirtans, taking part in them. And then he started chanting in the kirtans and things. And he's always wearing his Ukrainian Orthodox robes. And then he would go back to the church and give Mass and do whatever Ukrainian Orthodox priests do. I don't know their system. And after some time, he got initiated. He was leading kirtan and things. But he would always wear his Ukrainian Orthodox robes. And after some time, and he was always he's also kept his job with the church, giving Mass and like that. But he would speak a little bit from the Bible about why you should be vegetarian or how there's reincarnation, this and that, in a very clever way, chanting 16 rounds and following 4 principles, initiated devotee. After a few years, there was some body pain he was having for some time. He went for a checkup. And the doctor came back with the results. He said, "I have some bad news. You have stage 4 cancer, and you only have a few weeks to live." And so that Ukrainian Orthodox priest, who's now initiated devotee, he went to the temple. And he said, "Can I stay here?" And there were a group of devotees around his bed chanting Hare Krishna in the temple property when he left his body. So this goes on. We used to go to Uzbekistan sometimes, very difficult country to go to. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj is born there, Chaitanya Chandra was born there, but both of them are banned from going to the country because they don't want Hare Krishnas going in. Somehow we managed to go 3 times, and the 4th time they refused us entry. We're going to try again to go. But I was very surprised. In Uzbekistan, it's a very difficult country. There's only one legal temple, Hare Krishna temple, in the whole country. And it's the only place in the country where it's legal to read Srila Prabhupada's books. And if you have Prabhupada's books in your home, the police have done raids on people's homes. And they'll confiscate Prabhupada's books from you. You're allowed to read them in the temple, but only in the temple. It's a very difficult place. No one's allowed to wear a dhoti or sari in public, except one devotee. And he's the temple president, but he doesn't do it because he doesn't want to go through the hassle of getting arrested and going to court over it and things. Difficult place. And so we were giving class, and I was very surprised to see some of the ladies coming were wearing burqas. They're coming to the Hare Krishna. I'd never seen ladies wearing a burqa coming to the Hare Krishna temple. And I found out some of these ladies, they've been coming to the temple for a long time. They would do namaz, their Islamic practice, 3 times a day, bowing down to Mecca. And they were also chanting 16 rounds. But they were wearing a burqa, and like that. Because you can't give up your family religion there. And it's okay. It's fine. They were able to add something. So, this is a principle of a disciple. We shouldn't be fanatical. This is a point we can understand from this verse. We have our Shastra. We have the things Gurudev has given, but we don't hate other Shastras. We don't hate other religions, other principles. Srila Prabhupada wanted that the Krishna consciousness movement would take over the world. Think about that. What does it mean? What if the city council of Ottawa had a meeting, and they decided, we're all in Maya. We should surrender the Hare Krishnas. And they came here to Shankar Prabhu, and they said, Prabhu, here we want you to be in charge of the city. Take over everything. Now you have to be in charge of the tax division and the road repair and the education department and so many different departments. What are we going to do? I don't know how to deal with all those things. That's not our business. I don't think, we used to think like that in the early days, that ISKCON would take over all the governments and everything like that. I personally don't think, we'll see how it happens, but I don't think that was Srila Prabhupada's vision. I think Srila Prabhupada's vision was that we preach to people, and they preach to people, and they preach to the mayor of Ottawa, they preach to the governor of Canada, and those people, they become Krishna conscious, and then they begin ruling in a Krishna conscious way. So that's required, but for us to accomplish that, we're going to have a very, very broad-minded mentality, where we can accommodate so many other persons. We can allow them to be themselves and have their religion and study their particular shastra they like, but still take something from Krishna consciousness. So at the same time, one should avoid blaspheming other scriptures. One should rigidly control his mind, speech, and bodily activities. Always speak the truth and bring the mind and senses under full control. Text 27 to 28. Shravanam kirtanam dhyanam harir adbhuta karmana janma karma gunanam cha tadarte kila cheshtitam ishtam datam tapo japtam britam yachchatmana priyam daran sutan grihan pranan yat parasmai nivedanam. One should hear, glorify, and meditate upon the wonderful transcendental qualities of the Lord. One should specifically become absorbed in the appearance, activities, qualities, and holy names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus inspired, one should perform all one's daily activities as an offering to the Lord. One should perform sacrifice, charity, and penance exclusively for the Lord's satisfaction. Similarly, one should chant only those mantras which glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all one's religious activities should be performed as an offering to the Lord. Whatever one finds pleasing or enjoyable, he should immediately offer to the Supreme Lord. And even his wife, children, home, and very life heirs, he should offer at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, you might think, well, this sounds a little contrary to what you were just describing, that we can accommodate so many different types of persons. We may accommodate those persons, but for ourselves, we should be very, very strict and very close to Gurudev, very close to Srila Prabhupada. There's a story about one man who was trying to dig for water. He dug for 10 feet in one place, and he didn't find water. He became discouraged, so he went another few meters away and he started digging there, and he dug for 15 feet there. And he didn't find water, so he went to another place. He dug another 15 feet. He didn't find water. And finally he went to another place. And that time he dug for 20 feet, and then he hit water. So we can put our eggs, as they say, in so many different baskets. We can try to practice so many different things. But Krishna in the Gita says, you should be vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. We should be one-pointed with the system of bhajan and meditation, the mood of our Gurudev. Not because it's the only way, but because this is how I'm going to come close to Gurudev. This is how I'm going to understand Gurudev. And I'm going to get the topmost thing by doing this. If that person would have dug 20 feet in the first place, he would have saved himself a lot of effort, going here and going there and there. We need to be a kantik. And so it's very, very important. The business of a disciple, just as we sing Shri Radhaya Madhavananda Prabhu Madhurja Lila Guna Rupa Namnan Pratikshanasvadana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanadavindam. The Gurudev Pratikshanasvadana Lolupasya, he's always relishing the Rup Gun and Lila of Radha and Madhav, the pastimes and qualities and form of Radha and Madhav. So also this is the behavior of a disciple. if we want to come close with Gurudev, we should chant Hare Krishna. As we were mentioning the other day, Chaitanya Charitamrita states that Tate Krishna Bhaje Kore Guru Sevan. My Guru Seva is my Krishna Bhajan. My Krishna Bhajan is my Guru Seva. This is how I come close to Gurudev. Not that I chant Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, and think that's going to please him. I chant Hare Krishna, and because this is so very, very dear to Gurudev, I'll come close to him in that way. I'm going to speak more about this principle of hearing and chanting as a disciple tomorrow. The next verses 30 and 31 speak a lot about that topic. I'd like to just finish with reading text 29. Evam Krishnatmanateshu Manushyesu Chasoridam Paricharyam Chaboyatra Mahatsu Nrisu Sadhusu. One who desires his ultimate self-interest should cultivate friendship with those persons who have accepted Krishna as the Lord of their life. This is a behavior of a disciple. If we desire ultimate self-interest, we should cultivate friendship with persons who have accepted Krishna as the Lord of their life. One should further develop an attitude of service toward all living beings. One should especially try to help those in the human form of life, and among them, especially those who accept the principles of religious behavior. Among religious persons, one should especially render service to the pure devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now you may say that this is repetitive of what was being spoken yesterday in, text 23, where he speaks about they spoke about the different types of association that we may have and how we associate with different persons. And specifically it said there that we should try to associate with more advanced devotees and render service to them. And specifically it was described we should be kind to persons who are less fortunate and try to help them. So here you may say this is some repetition. Repetition sometimes is given for topics that are very, very important. So to learn how to associate, the science of association is such an important principle for a disciple. Such an important principle, it's also spoken about in the next two verses. Text 30 and 31. I'm going to speak something more about that tomorrow. So I just wanted to make that little comment. Now I'd like to go back to text 24 and read a little bit what our acharyas have to say about this. Text 24 describes again, Socham tapasatiksham cha monam swadhyayam arjavam brahmacharjam ahimsam cha samatvam dvanvasamyo. That to serve the Guru, if you want to serve Guru, if we want to serve the spiritual master, this is what we should cultivate, this is what we should do. We should practice cleanliness, we should learn cleanliness, Socham. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his Sarta Darshan, he comments this, he says, Socham bhayam mrij jaladibi. That the bhayam of Socham, the external quality of cleanliness, means that you clean yourself jaladibi, using water and earth. To this day, my Guru Maharaj, when he had taken sannyas, he didn't use soap for many, many years. The sadhu tradition, they take earth and they rub the earth in their body and they use that to remove dirt and they put water on it. So he's saying, Socham bhayam mij jaladibi abhyantaram chadamba manadibi sikshat. So the first is for external cleanliness, and internal cleanliness by destroying pride. Manadibi. It says chadamba. Damba means pride. Chadamba manadibi. He says that we practice internal cleanliness to serve Gurudev by destroying pride and hypocrisy. Otherwise, we can't serve Guru properly. And then the verse says, tapa, we should perform austerity. And Vishwanath says, tapa kama krodadi vega dharanam. That tapa means control over lust and anger, kama krodadi vega dharanam, and other different impulses. If we want to try to serve Gurudev, this is what austerity means. It's not that we practice austerity simply for the sake of austerity. And there are many, many different descriptions in Vedic literature and from our acharyas in this regard. The Narada Pancharatra says, Nararito yadi haris tapasa tata kim, nararito yadi haris tapasa tata kim. He said, if someone's worshipping Krishna, then what's the use of performing austerities? And if someone's not worshipping Krishna, then what's the use of doing austerities? Right? And Srila Sridhar Swami, in his Bhavarta Dipika commentary, he gives a very nice comment. Tapantu tapai prapatantu parvatad atantu tirtani patantu chagaman yajantu yagair vividantu vadair harim vinanaiva mritim taranti. Very poetic. He said, let them do their austerities. Let them throw themselves off the top of mountains. Let them go to all the holy places and study all the shastras and do all their fire sacrifices and argue all their different philosophies. But without devotion to Krishna, they'll never cross beyond birth and death. In other words, all those things won't save you from death. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that tapa, austerity, means that we learn control over lust, anger, and other impulses so that we can serve Gurudev in a better way. And what is tatiksha? Tatiksha, tolerance, means, he says, tatiksham kshamam, very simply. Tatiksham kshamam. That we should practice tolerance by being forgiving of other people. This is how we practice tolerance. And that's a very important quality in a Vaishnava community. He said, Monam Britavag Aprayogam. We should learn to give up useless talk, monam. And we should, how do we do that? By reciting Vedic literature. Swadhyayam Bhakti Vidyaka. And he gives an example, Shri Gopal Tapani Adi Patam. That we recite books like the Gopal Tapani Upanishad and like Srimad Bhagavatam. If we want to come close to Gurudev, if we want to serve Gurudev, we should study Shastra, practice Swadhyaya, which means recitation of Vedic literatures. And it's a very nice thing to recite a chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. Srila Prabhupada oftentimes recommended that. Just to recite the Sanskrit or the English, it purifies the mind. It's very, very helpful for our spiritual life. And he says, Arjavam Saralyam. That one should learn to be straightforward and sincere. Arjavam. Not that we're duplicitous. And he says, Brahmacharya. What does Brahmacharya mean? Stri Sangha Tyagam. It means that we should give up the association of women. I'll come back to that in a moment. Ahingsam adroham. He says that ahimsa means that we don't offend anyone, we don't hurt someone. Adroham. That's real non-violence. Dvanda samnayor manavanmanayo. And we should be equal in all different situations. Samatvam harsha vishada rahityam. We don't in situations where someone's respecting us or disrespecting us, whether there's some harsha or vishad, some happiness, harsha or vishad, there's some lamentation, whatever it is, we're samatva. We should be equal in that. We should practice this. Otherwise, how can we serve Gurudev if we become a mental case? And we're just crying and crying, oh Gurudev, this thing happened, I don't know how to deal with this. So it's very, very important. We should become equipoised. We should learn to control the mind. In the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, it's described there's 2 weapons to control the mind. Guru Harish Charanapasanastram. Charanapasanastro. Astra means a weapon. So there's 2 weapons. Guru Harish Charanapasanastra. And what are those 2 weapons? The instructions of the spiritual master and the holy name. When our mind starts disturbing us and going here and there, and we're being carried away from service to Gurudev, we should take shelter of these 2 secret weapons, these 2 weapons. The instructions of Gurudev and the holy name. So one of the principles spoken about here is Brahmacharya, and also some principles of austerity are being spoken about here. And we should understand what is austerity and what is the difference between austerity and bhakti. Rupa Goswami speaks about this in an elaborate way in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He says, Jnana Vairagyayor Bhakti Praveshayo Payogita Isat Pratamavavati Nanga Tomucha Tamyayo Yadu Be Chitta Katinya Hetu Praya Satam Mate Sukumara Sabevayam Bhaktista Detarir Trita. He says that this Jnana and Vairagya, or knowledge and renunciation, it only has some utility in the beginning of the following the path of bhakti. Because it helps us in the beginning. In Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the 11th verse, he very famously describes it, Anyabhilasita shunyam jnana karmadi anabritam anukulyena krishna nusilanam bhakti uttam. What is uttam bhakti? He says it has these characteristics. Pure bhakti has these characteristics. Anyabhilasita shunyam. There's no nonsense. Our other material desires should be shunya. And then he says, Jnana karma adi anabritam. Jnana and karma, adi means etc., etc., should be anabritam. Anabritam means they shouldn't cover bhakti. Jiva Goswami raises an interesting question. He says, why didn't he just say sunyatam? No gyan, no karma. And adi, what does adi mean? Adi means vanashram dharma, Jiva Goswami says. Adi means tapasya. Adi means doing yagyas and different things. And he says these things, they may cover bhakti. But why doesn't he say sunyatam? Why does he say anabritam? He said because in the initial stage, they may have some utility. For example, Jiva Goswami, this is a little philosophical, fasten your safety belt, you'll survive. He says there's 3 types of bhakti, tat padartha gyan, tvam padartha gyan, and jiva brahma aikya gyan. Knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowledge of myself as a spirit soul, those are very good. And that helps me. To have that knowledge will help me to practice bhakti. But in and of itself, it's not required. Bhakti is surat. Bhakti is independent. Bhakti doesn't depend on knowledge. But it can help me in the beginning. The 3rd type of bhakti, jiva brahma aikya gyan, knowledge of the oneness of the Lord and the living entity, that's detrimental to bhakti. That we reject. But this other type of gyan can be helpful in the beginning. But it shouldn't cover bhakti. How will it cover bhakti? And not just gyan, but also vairagya, renunciation, also vanashram dharma, also tapasya and other things. They may cover bhakti in one of 2 ways, he says. One, you might think it's the goal. The goal is to become renounced. And this is the nature, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, of persons who he calls bahirmukjanas, external persons. They're very much in the bodily conception of life. They really, really think they're their body. And so when they begin to practice spiritual life, they equate spiritual life with something bodily. That spiritual life means being renounced, not looking at a woman, not looking at a man if you're a woman, and being being celibate. That's the most important thing, they feel. So it's incorrect. That will cover bhakti. That's not the goal. Renunciation is not the goal. Bhakti is the goal. The second way they may cover bhakti is that one may think, unless I do this, I can't get bhakti. Unless I practice renunciation like this, I can't get bhakti. Unless I practice vanashram dharma or this thing or that thing, I can't get bhakti. And that also covers bhakti. Bhakti is not dependent on those things. Bhakti is independent. So Jiva Goswami says, Jnana Vairagyayor Bhaktir Pravesh Ayo Payogita. Pravesh means to enter in the very beginning. In the beginning of the entry in the path of bhakti, there is some slight utility of Jnana and Vairagya. But it's not correct, he says, to say that Jnana and Vairagya are angas of pure bhakti. He says, rather, sadhus, they understand, they say that Jnana and Vairagya can cause the heart to become very hard. Whereas bhakti, by nature, is very soft, is very tender. And bhakti is the cause of itself. Bhakti stu bhagavad bhakti sangena parijayate. Or the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, it's also said, bhakti sanjayate bhakti. That bhakti comes from bhakti. It has no other purpose, no other cause. So we should understand this principle. It's a very important principle. I'd like to read you a verse and some purport from the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, from the prayers of Lord Brahma. Tavabrigodigastenas. What is the verse? Let's see. There it is. Lord Brahma, he describes, Tavadragadigastenas, tavat kara griham griham, tavan moho nigado, yavat Krishna nate jana. He said, my dear Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate families for their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles which bind them up. In his commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes a conversation between Krishna and Brahma. That Brahma is offering these prayers, and when Krishna hears Lord Brahma speaking like this, Krishna says, wait a minute, this is not good. What are you saying? He said, if you speak like this, then the sannyasis, they'll think that the Brijbasis, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they're all in Maya. Because they're all householders. Because they're attached to their family and things like that. So then, Lord Brahma, he replies to Krishna, he said, yes, that's true for most materialistic grihastas. But what to speak of the householders of Braj, even your ordinary devotees who are grihastas, he said they're superior to these sannyasi critics. He said attachment, hatred, and other material emotions are thieves because they steal the treasure of pure bliss from the soul. But Krishna, he said, as long as people, if they don't get the mercy of your devotees, if they don't become your followers, then they become bound up. But when they become your devotees and they develop attachment for bhakti and things attached to bhakti, then their same family members, the same house, he says, that was formerly a prison cell, created by favorable and unfavorable karmic reactions, becomes for your devotee a place to do service. The same house, which represents material bondage in the material world, becomes a place of service when the devotees are doing hearing and chanting there. And he says, so the bewilderment caused by objects such as wife and sons becomes a cause for expressing his love for you. He said, how can householders like this be compared to ordinary renunciates? These devotees are very, very great. He said, the residents of Braj have thousands of times more love for you than householders who live in other places. So, we don't accept this austerities in just an external way. But austerity means something that we do for the sake of Krishna's pleasure. Just like someone was asking me the other day when we were in, I think it was Boston, that what's the connection between austerities and bhakti? And isn't there some connection? And I explained to him like this. I said, well, we practice bhakti because we want to have a personal relationship with Krishna. So we can give some example that if someone wants to have a personal relationship with you, they like you very much, they want to become your friend. And to become your friend, they decide, I'm going to stand on my head for a week. And I'm not going to eat anything. I'm going to fast from food and water. Will they become your friend just by that? It's a little strange, isn't it? Just by doing that austerity, it doesn't bring us closer to the Lord. It doesn't even bring us closer to some ordinary person. What to speak of the Lord. But on the other hand, if a young lady, she's madly in love with you, and she's fasting because she wants to meet you, that might melt your heart, isn't it?
Yeah.
if she's madly in love. Or another case, someone has heard something about you, and they're so very, very impressed with you that they want to become your friend, and because they wanting to be your friend, they're practicing different austerities and things because they really want to be your friend. That also might touch your heart. What's the difference between these two? Austerities just for the sake of austerities is one, the first. And the second is austerities that are done as an expression of our intention, expression of our love, expression of our feelings. And so devotees do austerities. We have 4 regulated principles. But we don't think that just following 4 regulated principles is going to give us Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was once invited to give a lecture to the London Vegetarian Society. And Prabhupada asked the devotees, do they want to hear about Krishna or do they want to hear about vegetarianism? And they said, well, Prabhupada, I think they want to hear about vegetarianism. And Prabhupada said, the rabbits are vegetarian. We don't care about vegetarianism. This is one of our 4 regulated principles. But our purpose is not just to become vegetarian or to become celibate. But our purpose is we have a desire, we want to attain Krishna. And for this reason we follow 4 principles. We do the austerities of fasting from grains and Ekadasi. Sometimes devotees, they fast on Ekadasi for this purpose of attaining Krishna. So I'd like to conclude with a little story, also again about Ramanuja, and this time a cousin of Ramanuja. His name was Govinda, which illustrates what is real renunciation. Govinda was a cousin of Ramanuja, and Govinda was a married man, and his mother became a little unhappy with him on one occasion, and when Govinda was sitting next to Ramanuja, his mother approached him and she said, you know, it's not good. Govinda is a married man, and his wife now, she's old enough to have a child, and Govinda hasn't given her a child. Govinda, you should give your wife a child. And so Govinda replied to his mother like this. He said, Mom, let her come to me when there's solitude and darkness, because we're not going to have relations to beget a child in any other place. So when these 2 qualities are there, solitude and darkness, then she can come to me. And so a number of days went by and still Govinda hadn't approached his wife to conceive a child. And so Dutimati, his mother, became a little annoyed, and she went to Ramanuja and she complained. Govinda is not obeying me. He's not performing his duty as a husband to give his wife a child. It's said in Smriti Shastra that if the wife desires a child and the husband refuses to give the wife a child, and I could read you the Sanskrit if you liked, then that man, if he refuses to give her a child, he gets the result of killing a baby in the womb. He gets the sin of doing an abortion. So Ramanuja went to Govinda and he said, hey, you should follow your mother's instruction, and at least one night you should stay with your wife. Govinda offered his obeisances to his cousin and guru, Ramanuja, and they made a feast for the occasion. And they announced, we're going to do I'm going to meet with my wife tonight. We call that Garbhadan Samskara. They gave a feast for everyone. They invited different persons. And then Govinda and his wife were left together in a room. And all night long, Govinda, very ecstatically, stayed up, just speaking to his wife about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam and the glories of Ramanuja Acharya. Dutimati, his mother, her room was right next door, and she was kind of listening through the wall. What's going on? And what is this? The next morning, she approached her son, Govinda. She said, are you having a Bhagavatam class? Are you conceiving a child? What kind of household are you? This is not good. Huh? So Govinda, he replied to his mother. He said, Mother, I told you that when there's solitude and darkness, then I can approach her. He said, but God's in my heart. And He's present everywhere. And He's always watching me. So we're not alone. Huh? And it's not dark place. Huh? So without these two things, without solitude and darkness, how can someone do some secret act? I can't do this. So when Ramanujacharya heard about this, he called for Govinda. He said, Govinda, I have to have a talk with you. He said, look, I think you're in the wrong ashram. You should take sannyas. And it was at that time that Ramanujacharya gave him sannyas. So the disciples should be detached from material life, and whatever we do is for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. But someone who's completely surrendered like Govinda, they're going to naturally, they're not going to just follow the instructions of Guru in some external mechanical way, but it's going to be a natural thing from his heart. And this is a quality of a real disciple, which is a quality that we want to come to. Someone who's spontaneous and not just someone who's going through some rituals and putting on a costume and acting in a certain way, but acting on the platform of genuine devotion to Guru and to Krishna. That's a real disciple. So we'll stop there. I'd like to ask if anybody has any reflections or comments. Maybe we can have questions after that. Bhakti Marg Maharaj, would you like to add anything?
I would just like to say thank you very much. What you had to say was concise and clear and straightforward. References. One thing that resonated with me was the point about not being fanatical. And my own personal story about when I became a devotee is that my parents were concerned that I was leaving Catholicism. And I didn't have the answer then, but later on, 7 years later on, I said I'd never left Jesus. Jesus has always been with me, but I just added Krishna. So that's an answer that kind of worked for me. For a lot of people, can you do that? You can actually have Jesus and Krishna in the same room together. Yeah, why not? They have the same interests, the same philosophy, and so on like that. So when you were talking about the ladies and their burkas and their praises to Allah 3 times a day and chanting 16 rounds, I thought that was kind of nice. I think that's, this would be kind of eye-opening for devotees if they could think a little bit like that. We don't have to convert everybody. We don't have to think that everybody has changed their institution to join us, but why not add Krishna? See what happens.
That's beautiful.
Another thing I want to say about fanaticism, more recently, I've been approached by a few leaders in Canada. I'm talking about our ISKCON leaders. That, Maharaj, could you please give a class to how to devotee, tell the devotees not to be fanatical. That's been quite, kind of like a repetitious thing that's been coming up more lately. Not to be fanatical. In a little different way, not to scorn or condemn other faiths, but a little bit more the condition within, fanatical about, you can't sit like this, you can't, all these little nitpicking little things that sometimes happens to new people who come. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes people miss the boat in terms of what delivering their Krishna consciousness. By saying Krishna consciousness means, this meticulous thing, that particular thing here or there. And dogmatic, becoming very dogmatic, and not pushing the bhakti forward, if that makes any sense.
Thank you, Maharaj. When I was a bhakti leader for a few years in Los Angeles, at that time we had a policy: no one is allowed to correct the new bhaktas except the bhakti leader and the temple president, because otherwise they're always doing something wrong, picking up some food with their left, beside them with their left hand, or picking their nose, or doing this thing or that thing, and they'll just go crazy and they'll leave. So we can't do like that. So, anybody else? Any reflections? Lakshmanath Prabhu?
Speaking those terms, when I first joined, I was asked to clean the dump room. We had a little function on that room. But because it was like a living room, there was 2 entrances. You could enter from the front and leave from the back. So one devotee said, so you take this mop and start from the altar and work your way backwards, and then you get out. So I started that, and the other person came and said, no, what are you doing? You're supposed to start from here and go
The other door.
okay. Probably, no, so the other way, what's your problem? Didn't you hear me? I told you to start from what's your mind? That's the problem. You're listening to your mind. Start there, work your way there, and it's like, oh my God. I'm just mopping the floor. I survived. Many times I wanted to move, but somehow I couldn't.
It's an interesting sociological study of religious conversion, that the sociologists of religion have found that when people change their religion, let's say that they're Catholic before and then they become a Hare Krishna, which really we shouldn't consider religion, but many people consider it like a religion. When people have some conversion like that, the tendency is to become fanatics. Because what's happened is you lost all your old friends that you had in your previous life, and now you're entering into a new area and you don't know anyone, and you don't have any expertise. You're not a senior person. You're not learned in the tradition or the philosophy of the scriptures, which you're entering into. And so you have to make up for that. You want to be accepted. You want to be loved and appreciated. So people tend to make up for that by being fanatics. And so pretty much in every tradition, someone becomes a Muslim, they were raised in a Christian family, or vice versa, or whatever, they become fanatics. And what to speak of, we've seen when people take to Krishna consciousness from a Western culture, it's such a huge difference in culture. But Prabhupada said so many times, it's not necessary for people to change their dress. They can stay at home, they can practice Krishna consciousness. Now we're starting to learn that a little more. But, Maharaj?
I just want to say, we may have used this term before, that I find it's better not to be a fanatic, but to be a fun addict. It's the joy of Krishna consciousness. And one fellow had a radio broadcast in southwestern Ontario. He interviewed me once, and he's a very devout Christian. And he was, I think he has some deep realizations. He was talking about a monk who was in a monastery somewhere in Europe. And he was looking at all these books about, the promotion of being celibate. And then he looked at some of the other books where it was talking about something a little different, veering over more to doing things with the heart. He said, oh, I get it now. It's not about celibate. It's about celebrate. It's about giving glory, praising and appreciating like that. So I thought that was significant.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Maharaj. We want to be a fun addict instead of a fanatic. Lakshmanath Prabhu.
But I think also there's another component is that, I want to become pure. I want to purify myself. So anything that I perceive can be a contaminant, I want to walk away from it. And that also causes fanaticism, because if I think that somehow your teaching or your understanding or whatever is kind of a deviant thing, it's not pure and so forth, then I'm not going to associate with you because you might contaminate, So we like corner ourselves or remove ourselves from others because we're afraid of that. And I see often in ISKCON, unfortunately, the term aparad, offensive, you're being offensive, you're being, it is used quite loosely. I mean, someone leaves Krishna consciousness, well, that must have been offensive. It's like the answer to everything. It's a very simplistic approach to things, rather than trying to understand what took place. And don't commit offense, or you're going to make offense, this and that. So it kind of freaks everybody out, and everyone's like walking on their tiptoes, because they're so afraid, rather than just being themselves, and us being more mature and saying, well, this is a good person, and he doesn't know, and he's not making offense because he's not necessarily envious. I see one person is envious, that might be an offense, like, intentionally trying to hurt someone else, but just out of ignorance or lack of knowledge, he doesn't know. But we assume that he knows. We assume that he should know this. He should know how to do this, how to do that. And I think we turn people off sometimes in that approach.
I really like what Maharaj was saying, that we should be happy when people come and take something from Krishna consciousness. I've often thought that we should have two separate things. ISKCON and the Hare Krishna movement. ISKCON means the institution where we're training Brahmins and preaching and education and having programs and deity worship and festivals. And the Hare Krishna movement means Boy George and George Harrison and everybody, and everybody can chant Hare Krishna, and that's great. We want them to do like that. And it should be two different things. When we speak about fanaticism, there's a verse that comes to my mind from Hari Bhakti Vilas, where Sanatana Goswami says, Advaitam cha parityajet. This is in the first Vilas, where he's speaking about the business of a disciple. And he says one important thing for a disciple is they should give up the attitude that they're non-different from their guru. And his commentary, Sanatana Goswami elaborates on it, that we shouldn't advertise to other people that I'm very close with Gurudev, I'm non-different from Gurudev. We should always think I'm a very, very humble, fallen soul, and somehow Guru Maharaj has accepted me, even though I'm not qualified. When we start trying to imitate Guru and acting like I'm non-different from him, then we become fanatical and we start demanding respect from other people, like you're saying, and harassing people in a very shallow way. Anything, Maharaj?
On the topic of dress, attire that you brought up.
I hope it wasn't too controversial.
Oh, no, it's very good. So I think it's a question of whether it's East or West. Either Krishna West or Krishna East or Krishna North. By the way, this is Krishna North up here. It's Krishna South. But I just, when you were talking, I was just thinking maybe we could narrow down what dress really is all about. It's not East or West, but it's pressed, clean, it fits, and it's chaste. Maybe somebody else wants to add on to that. But
Yeah.
it's looking to my mind.
That's nice.
So when this is a little bit funny, but when I was walking across the states last summer in Nevada, we had just finished walking, myself and the two brahmacharis with me. We went through the Mormon land, the Utah. State of Utah. And someone brought up the topic about magic underwear.
They have their things.
So we were just kind of looking this up, Googling it. What is this magic underwear they talk about? We looked at it just, it looks very chaste. Okay, that's what they mean by magic underwear. So I don't know if it's off topic, but I think that being chaste is very, very critical for devotees to dress that way. So whether it's your Western clothes or Eastern clothes, it doesn't matter. But I just thought that last particular point I thought was kind of important for us to not be licentious.
There's a letter where Srila Prabhupada says that yes, devotees can dress like Santa Claus. It's okay. For certain circumstances. Anything else from anybody?
Can I ask you a question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Paramahansa.
Forgiveness is very important for our society.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a little bit about what actually is forgiveness and how does it manifest both on the individual level and the society level?
Oh, thank you.
Forgiveness on an individual level and on a society level. If we don't practice forgiveness, how can we practice bhakti? Let me see. In Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he speaks about this and he says that without practicing forgiveness, we can't practice bhakti. It's not possible. Let's see if I can find this statement. It's a very nice thing. He speaks about what is priyam vada. Priyam vada means to speak in a sweet way. Vada means to speak and priya means in a nice, pleasing way. He defines as jane krita paradhi pi santvavadi priyam vada. Speaking in a pleasing way means speaking in a pleasing way even to persons who've offended. And the Bhagavatam first canto describes Tiraskrita vipralabdha sapta kshipta hata api nashita pratikurvanti tad bhakta prabhavopihi. One of Naranjan Maharaj's favorite verses. He says that the devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they're defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they're never inclined to avenge themselves. So if we can't develop, this is the way I like to think, if I can't forgive someone else, then how are they going to forgive me? I think that in this world, we all have a choice. We have to have a job. We have to have some occupation. One person may be a preacher or sannyasi. Someone else may be working for some technical company or be a businessman or something. Everyone has to have some kind of occupation, something that we do. And in a broad sense, we could say that we all have to work for a court. We can either work in one of two courts. The two courts that we can work for, we can either get a job working for Chitragupta, who is the scribe of Yamaraj, and he writes down all the faults and offenses that everyone's committed in this world. We can work for Chitragupta, who's in turn working for Yamaraj, or we can work for Lord Nityananda. And it's described by the poet Krishnadas. He says, Adosha Darshi Moro Prabhu Nityananda, that the nature of my Nityananda Prabhu, he doesn't see fault in anyone. So there's a danger if you work in the first court, if you criticize other people, you find fault with them, and maybe those faults are true, but you're also going to be judged in the same way. Whereas if we work in the court of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, then there's mercy there. There's forgiveness. And I may be forgiven for my faults. And there's a number of statements in Shastra we've compiled once in one of our Krishna Katamrita Bindu email magazines. I'll read you a couple of verses. This is from the Mahabharata. Vidura tells Dhritarashtra, Akrosha parivadabhyam vihimsatya buddha buddhan vakta papamupadate kshamamana vimuchate. That someone is a very ignorant person, they try to hurt someone else by saying harsh things about them, by criticizing them. He says, but a wise person, he forgives them. And by that forgiveness, that critic takes all the karma, all the bad reactions of the wise person who forgives him by forgiving. And then a few chapters later, Vidura says again, Akroshamana nakroshan manyo eva titikshita akrostaram didahati sukritam cha shavindati. That if someone criticizes you, don't criticize them back, because the pain that you feel in your heart when someone criticizes you, that pain, if you forgive that person, that pain in your heart will destroy the critic, and whatever good things he has will come to you. So all your bad things will go to him, and all his good things will come to you. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in one purport in the 11th canto, he says that when someone begins a spiritual path, they're definitely going to be criticized. There's going to be some people who start making fun of you, who start criticizing you. Yeah, you're a bogus person, you're trying to act like a saintly fellow, you're not, I know who you really are, you're a jerk, you're this and that. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta says, if we can't tolerate that, and if we can't forgive that person, then we'll fall down and we'll be forced to return back to material life. We'll have to give up our spiritual life. So tolerance and forgiveness are such a very, very important part of spiritual life. And if we want to be a disciple of Gurudev, it means we may have many different God brothers and God sisters. And we want to work together for a greater purpose. And to do that, Srila Prabhupada spoke so often about tolerance and about cooperation. He said, your love for me, he told Tamal Krishna Maharaj, your love for me will be shown by how you tolerate and cooperate together. It's a very important thing. And we do that not just because we want I want to be a member of the Hare Krishna movement, I want people to like me, but we do that for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. We do that for the pleasure of Guru. And if I can't do that, I'm not really a disciple. I'm just a troublemaker. And I'm going to become a big, big headache for Gurudev. If Gurudev accepts some disciple who just goes around and starts causing trouble and causing arguments with everyone, it's going to disrupt the Guru's service. And we've seen that a few times over the years in ISKCON. So Prabhupada emphasized so many times, he wrote one letter, he said, rather than finding fault with other persons, you should find fault with yourself. And he said we should understand that our movement is like a hospital. and people are coming and they need some help. It's not that Prabhupada said, it's not that we should expect them to be on the topmost platform as soon as they arrive. It's a preaching movement. If we can't forgive, we can't be a proper disciple. That's my thought. Do you want to add to that, Gaura Prabhu, or something else?
Question related to that.
Okay.
I tried to set the points for you, but I would monopolize the class, so I'd like to them up with you in person later. But regarding this issue on cooperation, so when I was down in the States some years ago, I saw a bumper sticker on the back of the car, and it said, "I'm a very cooperative person. As long as you see things my way, we'll get along just fine." So my experience over the years is I've heard various godbrothers express that cooperation is a two-way street, but often those people who are in positions of leadership, it's my way or the highway. And so I've often wondered, how do you cooperate with someone when they only see their way as being absolute, and that you're just a small timer, and they're not really interested in even hearing your point of view or hearing your realization? How do you cooperate with a person?
It reminds me of a conversation I had. It was on the day after Prabhupada's Vyas Puja last year in Germany, at the farm there with Sachinandan Maharaj and Goloka Dham. And I'd gone to see him. I was getting ready to leave, and I wanted to offer my respects. And we were saying a few words, and I mentioned to him, I said, "Maharaj, I really want to be a team member. I really like to be a team member. I like that very much." And Sachinandan Maharaj was quiet for a moment. And he looked at me and said, "But you have to be careful who's on your team." I really like that very much. Even within our ISKCON society, and Prabhupada recognized and acknowledged that during his time he was here. There were so many different groups and camps. There's always been different groups and camps. From the very beginning, we had the Mott Street group on 26 2nd Avenue, and there were other devotees aside from that. There's always been different groups and different camps, and that's natural. We should be careful. If I want to be a team member, I should be careful. Who do I want to be on my team? I should find people that I respect in a devotional way. That's why I want to be your friend, Prabhu.
So this reminds me of Rupa Goswami's statement in Behaviour, the Sindhu, when seeking association. Seek like-minded devotees who have affection for us.
Yeah.
Ideally who are more advanced.
Yeah. And literally who are swajatiya, who are from a similar nature. Yeah.
Like-minded.
Yeah. Lakshminath Prabhu?
Could you elaborate on the difference between criticism and expressing concern about the movement or persons
Sridhar Swami in his Bhavarta Dipika, I don't know if I have it here, he defines what is ninda, what is criticism. Nindanam dosha kirtanam. Nindanam dosha kirtanam. To do kirtan, or to speak about someone's dosh, someone's faults, that's ninda. That's fault finding. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says we may speak about someone's faults if we have an attitude that we really want to help them. But as is described in the Padma Purana, Asharadani Vimukhe Prashanvati Yaschopadesha Shiva Nama Paradha, that it's an offense to the holy name to preach to someone who doesn't have faith in us. So if I see someone, Prabhuji, I saw you eating prasadam in the bathroom. Very, very bad. And I go and I start criticizing him like that, but he doesn't have any faith in me. Then we're probably just going to get in an argument, maybe a fist fight, and it has no meaning, has no value. So criticism means when I'm speaking to someone, with a wrong motivation, it's a subtle kind of sex life. That I want to exhibit my dominance over some other person. I want to make them subordinate to me. I'm greater than you, and I want to show that by giving some instruction to that person. When the person doesn't have any faith in me, how can I say anything? If they don't have faith in me, the best thing I can do is be their friend. And if they feel that I genuinely care about them, then at some point we have a deep friendship, I might be able to say something. So Bhaktivinoda, in one article on Sajjana Toshin, he says it depends on our intention. Srila Prabhupada also criticized the devotees and was very, very harsh on the devotees. But the devotees accepted that because they felt, Prabhupada loves me. He cares about me. But we've all experienced, or I hope we haven't all experienced, but probably we have, someone who's superior to us in terms of family or age or seniority in a movement or something. When they come and chastise us and we feel disturbed, who does this guy think he is? Why don't you just come and chastise me like this? Because we don't have faith in that person. So if someone doesn't have faith in us, and I can tell us, frankly, there's a lot of people out there who don't have faith in us, right? How can we preach to them? We have to do some hard work. We have to act in such a way that they'll develop faith in us. Not just that I demand faith and just go up and start chastising people. That would be my thought. And do you want to add anything to that?
Well, in regards to the institution, not to a person, but to the institution, it's a little bit broader.
Maharaj, you need to go, I think, maybe? Don't feel bad. I'm just really, thank you very much for coming and blessing me. I hope you accept this humble service I'm trying to do. I very much appreciate your hard work for Srila Prabhupada and what you've done in Canada here. Thank you very much. Srila Bhakti Maharaj ki. Lakshmanath Prabhu.
Well, in regards to the institution, for a person, friend of a person, that is still a thing, but when we express some concern about the institution, how would that transform, or how would that person approach that situation?
If you express concern about the institution.
Yeah, which might be perceived as criticizing the institution or negative approaches.
Well, there's so many different people who respond in so many different ways. Communication is a real art. And if we see that they're not going to listen to me, then maybe we go in the back door. And we say something in such a way that they think it's their idea, their realization. They come to the understanding themselves. We can speak in a crooked kind of way. That makes people think, if they don't want to accept what we have to say. It just depends on our relationship. If someone is willing to listen to us and they have faith in us and we can be straightforward. If they don't, then maybe we have to be a little bit crooked in how we present things. And that's for our own benefit too, because we've all seen that if in our society, if you start speaking something and people don't understand what you're saying, they get upset about it, it can be a big headache for you. All of a sudden you're ostracized and you're labeled like this and that and a demon, and then you're not able to do anything good. Whereas Bhishma Dev, for example, he's on Krishna's side and on the Pandava's side, but it looks like he's on Duryodhana's side. But he was being quiet, and he was able to do some good, and he was able to help Yudhishthira in the long run. So it's not always something external. That would be my thought. Okay, I think maybe we should stop. It's getting really late. Shankar Prabhu, is that okay? Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhakta Binda ki, Go Premanandi, Vancha Kalpadarubhischa, Kripa Sindhu Vyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.